They call it the Middle Kingdom, the center of the world. While the Roman Empire fell and vanished into history, and the Bronze Age collapsed into shadow, one civilization did the impossible. It survived. For 5,000 years, through blood-soaked civil wars, nomadic invasions, and the rise and fall of dozens of dynasties, China has remained a continuous thread in the tapestry of human existence. But how? How did a collection of warring tribes along the Yellow River become the world's most enduring superpower? Today, we are traveling back to the dawn of time to witness the invention of paper, the secret of silk, the building of the world's largest wall, and the madness of emperors who sought to live forever. Stay with us until the very end, because the secret to China's future is buried deep in its ancient past, and some of those secrets are only being unearthed today. Every great story has a beginning, and for China, it starts in the mud. The Yellow River, known as Mother River, but also China's sorrow for its deadly floods, was the cradle. We begin with the Xia Dynasty, once thought to be a mere legend. For centuries, historians believed the Xia were myths, stories of great Yu, who tamed the floods. But recent archaeology suggests the myth was real. Around 2000 BCE, a centralized power emerged. Then came the Shang, the masters of bronze and the first to leave us written records on oracle bones. These weren't just records, they were a way to talk to the gods. But the Shang grew decadent. Legend says their last king built a lake of wine and a forest of meat, while his people starved. This leads us to the most important political idea in Chinese history, the mandate of heaven, the belief that a ruler only holds power as long as they are just. By the time of the Zhou Dynasty, China was fracturing. This was the spring and autumn period, a time of chaos, but also the greatest intellectual explosion in history. Imagine walking through a marketplace and seeing Confucius teaching that harmony comes from duty, or Laozi whispering that harmony comes from nature. This was the era of the 100 schools of thought. But wisdom couldn't stop the swords. The land dissolved into the Warring States period. 7 kingdoms fought for 200 years until one man, a man obsessed with order and immortality, crushed them all. Qin Shi Huang. He didn't just unify the land. He unified the weights, the measures, and the very walls that protected them. But his rule was iron. He burned books and buried scholars alive. He built the Terracotta Army to serve him in death, believing he could rule the afterlife just as he ruled the earth. The Qin lasted only 15 years, but they built the foundation. The Han Dynasty took that foundation and reached for the world. This is when the Silk Road was born. For the first time, Chinese silk reached the backs of Roman senators. Then came the Qing Dynasty, the cosmopolitan peak. In the capital of Chang'an, you could find merchants from Persia, monks from India, and poets like Li Bai. Following the Tang, the Song Dynasty brought an industrial revolution 800 years before Europe. They invented gunpowder, the magnetic compass, and paper money. By the year 1000, China was the most advanced society on the planet. But wealth attracts predators. Genghis Khan and the Mongols did what no one else could. They conquered all of China, establishing the Yuan dynasty. When the Mongols were finally driven out by the Ming dynasty, the empire turned inward. They built the Forbidden City and the Great Wall we see today. They sent the massive treasure fleet of Zheng He across the Indian Ocean. But then, the Ming stopped. They burned their ships and closed their doors. This isolation left them vulnerable to the last great dynasty, the Qing. The 19th century was a collision. Industrialized Western powers and a rising Japan tore at the edges of the empire. In 1912, the last emperor abdicated. What followed was a century of transformation, civil war, the rise of the Communist Party, and the economic miracle that turned China into the factory of the world. China's story is a circle of falling apart and coming back together. History shows us that while empires may sleep, they eventually wake up. If you found this journey fascinating, there is so much more to uncover. Make sure to subscribe to Once Upon Earth and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. What part of Chinese history surprised you the most? Let's start the conversation in the comments below. Thank you for watching.